Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Our next witness is Ronald Stewart. So would you come to the witness box? Do you swear or affirm? Will you take the oath or will you affirm?
No, no.
Yes. You say the oath for him to
Mr.
follow.
Ronald, Mr. Ronald Stewart,
Stewart.
do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Mrs. Stewart, because you are tall, you may have to lean into the microphone a bit. All right? Would you state your name?
Ronald Edward Stewart.
And what is your address?
45 Mazruni Street, Lemaha Springs.
And did you give a statement in this matter?
Yes.
Which you signed?
Yes.
And if you see your statement, will you be able to identify
Yes.
it by your signature?
Yes.
I'm going to have a document shown to you,
Yes.
and you will hold up your signature, please, for us to see. You have a document in your hand. Is that your statement, sir?
Yes.
I'm asking that this be admitted and marked as RS1, and I have 3 copies for the commissioners.
This document is admitted as RS.
Where do you now work, sir?
Chicom.
Where do you now work?
Where
Where do you now work?
live?
Work.
Chicom, Guyana Elections Commission.
And
High and
what do you do there?
security. I'm a security officer.
One moment. I wonder.
So it might not be better if you offered him a chair so it would bring him down to the level of the microphone.
Are you more comfortable in that position?
There's no space.
It's all right?
Make do with him.
Yes, regrettably the witness box is not very wide, so it can't accommodate a chair together with somebody with long
Very
legs.
tall man.
Yes. So hopefully I wouldn't keep you there too long. Are you hearing me?
Yeah.
Why
Is it
not
possible
turn
to
the
turn the box?
Ask him to step up.
Yeah, see. Bring it out a little so you can. Right, okay.
Turn it a little more.
It should be all right.
Too low. It's too low.
No, no. I think what we need to get is a stool or something. Because can't even fit a chair with a back in there.
Can I go straight?
Yeah, you could go straight a bit now. Your foot maybe jam different there. Push it over there and that's it. Better? Yeah, say hello.
Are you reasonably comfortable there, sir?
If I,
Are you reasonably comfortable
yeah.
there?
Yeah.
Are you now in charge of security at GCOM?
Yes.
And you have to lift your voice a little bit, okay?
Okay.
And by GCOM we mean the Guyana Elections Commission.
That's right.
And you started working there in 2011.
That's right.
Were you in charge of security at GCOM for the
Correct.
March 2020 elections?
Correct. That's right.
Where was your office at the time?
Hi, Barrack and 4th Street, Kingston.
Barrack and 4th Street, Kingston. For the March 2020 election, had GCOM also hired a private security firm?
That's right.
What was the name of that firm?
Calibar Security Service.
Caliber Security Services. And how many personnel did they have on site at Ashman's building on election day?
5.
Over the next 3 days, did you see any more Caliber security personnel there?
No.
Did you receive instructions to go to Ashman's building at any point?
Yes.
Who gave you those instructions?
The Deputy Chief Elections Officer, Mrs. Roxanne Myers.
And what was going to take place at Ashman's building?
The certification and tabulation of the votes for District Number 4.
Can you tell us where Ashman's building was at the time?
High and Hatfield Street.
Were you accompanied by any other officer?
Yes.
Who was this?
One officer by the name of Suraj Rao Prasad. Surjbans Rao Prasad.
Surajban's Royal Prasad.
Yeah.
And is he now alive?
No, he's deceased.
So, do you recall the 5th of March 2020?
Yes.
On that day, were you and this other officer in Ashman's building?
Yes.
And which floor were you on?
The ground floor.
Now, was there a tabulation room on that ground
Yes,
floor?
the tabulation room was on the ground floor.
And at about how far away were you and the other officer from the tabulation room?
About 10 feet from the door.
Were you sitting, standing? What were you doing?
Sitting, we were sitting at a desk.
Now, what was the procedure for someone to be allowed into the building?
They have to be accredited and they have to be in possession of their badge.
During the course of that day, well, first of all, I should ask, who was the chief election officer at the time?
Mr. Keith Lowenfield.
And during the course of that day, did you see Mr. Lowenfield at any time?
Yes.
Where did you see him?
He came from upstairs and he entered the tabulation center.
When he did so, did you go in?
No, I did not.
And the deputy CEO, did you see her at all that day?
Yes, I saw her.
Okay. Around midday, did you speak to her?
She called me on the phone.
And
And she,
had you spoken to her on the phone before?
no, not before then. That was the first occasion for that day. She called me on the phone.
Yes, but before that day, had you spoken to Miss Myers
Yes.
by phone?
Yes.
Were you familiar with her voice?
Yes, I know her voice very well.
Okay. So,
But when she called,
Yeah.
did she say, Mr. Stewart, Miss Myers here, or something like that?
Yeah, she did indicate to me
Who she was?
who she was.
and what, if anything, did Miss Myers say to you?
She told me, she instructed me to go into the tabulation center and get everybody to come out of the building.
Now, when she say everybody, did she say who she meant?
No, she didn't say who she meant, but she said everybody.
And did she give you a reason for that?
Yeah, she said that they were interfering with the work of the returning officer, Mr. Mingo.
Did she refer to any particular group, whether it's party
No, she
agents
didn't refer-
or
no.
observers or anybody?
No.
Now, did you see observers there that day?
Yes, there were observers there.
Can you remember any of them?
There were the American ambassador, the British High Commissioner, the Canadian High Commissioner, the EU Observer Mission, the CARICOM Observer Mission, and there were also local observers too, including two of GCOM's commissioner, and you had agents from the political parties.
These persons were all in this tabulation.
They were all, yes, they were invited, all of them, and they were.
So when you were told by Miss Myers, get everyone out of the room, this would include the accredited observers, party agents.
Yes, everybody. Everybody, which would except Mr. Mingo, because they were interfering with his work. So he had to remain and do his work when everybody gone.
Right. Now, before that, you were 10 feet away from the tabulation
Yeah.
room. Did Mr. Mingo come out of the room to you?
Never.
Just a second, let me finish the question, all right? Did he come out of the room to you as head of security and complain that people were interfering with his work?
No.
Did you receive any message from Mr. Mingo to say that anybody was interfering with his work in the tabulation room?
No.
Did you receive any phone call from Mr. Mengo to you as head of security indicating that anybody was interfering with his work?
No.
From your observations 10 feet away, did you have any indication at all that anybody was interfering with
No.
Mr. Mengo's work?
No.
Now, when Ms. Myers gave you this instruction, did you reply?
Yes.
What did you say?
I told her that that instruction was inappropriate and I am not going to carry it out.
And what did she say?
She said okay and she left and no, that was the first instruction. She said okay and she terminated the call.
Okay. About 15 minutes after that, did you see anyone?
Yes.
Who did you see?
Two male came into the building and identified themselves as police officers from CID headquarters.
CID headquarters.
Yes.
They identified themselves to you?
Yes.
And did they speak to you?
Yes. They said they got information that a bomb is planted in the building.
Well, did you ask them where the information had come from?
No, I didn't ask them anything.
And do you know the command, or did you know the commander for District 4, Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
After you saw these two men, did you see Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Where?
Shortly after I saw them, Mr. Thomas came into the building and went straight into the tabulation room.
And, well, did you also go into the tabulation
No.
room? No? Where did you stay?
I remained seated and Mr. Thomas came out of the tabulation center and told me that he told the persons there that he had received information that a bomb is planted in the building and he was advising them to leave immediately, and they refused.
Did Mr. Thomas tell you where he had got this information from?
No, he said he received the information, but he didn't say where he get it from.
And what did he then do?
He left after that.
Okay. Well, is there a fire? Was there a fire alarm set up at Ashman's?
I don't know if there was a fire alarm, but none went off.
Okay. Now, what about Mr. Mengo and GCOM staff? After Mr. Thomas went into the tabulation room, are you able to tell us whether Mr. Mengo and GCOM staff left the tabulation room?
Yes, nobody left.
And after Mr. Thomas left, did you see the deputy CEO?
Yes, she came down the steps and came to me and said, Mr. Stewart, you're sitting there and a bomb is planted in the building. Please get the people to evacuate.
Did she say why she thought there was a bomb in the building?
She just said a bomb is planted in the building.
And, well, what did you do?
Well, I again refused
Why did you refuse?
because I felt that those people in there were accredited, they were invited, and if Ms. Myers wanted them out, she should have been the person to go in there and tell them to come out, not me.
Okay. Now, before that, you knew that Mr. Thomas had tried to get the people
Yes,
out.
I knew that. That's one of my reasons for not going in, because I knew that Mr. Thomas attempted to get them out and they did not move.
And they didn't listen to
They
him.
didn't listen to him, so
Did you think that they would listen to you?
no.
Well, after Ms. Myers told you about there being a bomb in the building and to get people out, did she leave the building?
Yes, no, she left and went back upstairs where the bomb is planted.
Well, we don't know that a bomb was planted upstairs. Did she
Well,
have an office upstairs?
Yes, she had an office upstairs.
Okay. Now, sometime after that, after she went back upstairs, did you hear anything?
I heard loud noises from the room. People were shouting, no, no, no.
Okay.
Could I just, Mr.
And
Just a second.
Mr. Stewart,
yes,
you held the position of Chief Security Officer.
say again?
You held the position of Chief Security
Yes.
Officer. Now, the Deputy Chief Elections Officer,
Yes,
in the scheme of things, would be a senior to you. You would normally take instructions from her.
yes,
Now, you said that she told you, she came back and she told you that you needed to get the people out of the room.
yes,
You told us that you refused.
yes.
Why did you refuse to carry out that instruction?
Because two things. I know that Mr. Thomas was earlier in the room to get them to come out,
Yes.
and they refused.
Okay.
That's one. Two, they were invited by GCOM's hierarchy, and if GCOM's hierarchy wanted them out, they should go and tell them to leave and not try to set me up.
But
Did you?
But the information that was conveyed to you was a serious bit of information. A bomb was planted in the building.
Yes,
And you're saying it was the responsibility of GCOM to get them out?
yes. But you see, everybody knew that it's a hoax.
Well, I don't know. You see, no. You might know it's a hoax. I don't know that. We don't know that it's a hoax. So when you say everybody know it's a hoax,
It was plain. Nobody, all the senior people of GCOM were upstairs with other people. Nobody made any attempt to leave upstairs to come downstairs to evacuate the building. Nobody at all left the building at no stage.
so it was just your instructions were directed to the persons in the tabulation room.
Yes,
Did you? The Mr. Thomas that you're speaking about,
yes,
did you know this person to be a very senior police officer?
yes, of course. You're assistant commissioner.
And you said he tried to get people out and
And
everybody
they
ignored
said
him.
plain. They
They
said
said plain?
plain, they're not moving, let the bomb blow and kill them. We want to see what Mr. Mingo is doing.
I see.
Just one question. You were outside the tabulation room.
Yes.
Was the door open or closed?
No, close.
I see.
Now, so you heard at some point people shouting, no, no, no. What did you then do?
I left immediately and I walked out of the building and I went home.
You walked off the job?
Yes,
Why did you walk off the job?
because of two things. One, my integrity and my reputation was at stake. And two, I didn't want to be dismissed. I know that was coming, certainly coming. I wanted to resign. I didn't want to be dismissed, and that's why I left.
Did you resign?
Yes, I resigned next morning. I
No.
took
Did
Next morning being 6th.
Pardon?
The
That
6th?
would have been the 6th.
6th of March 2020 was the day you
I
resigned.
handed my resignation on the 6th. But all this happened on the 5th.
On the 5th. And you handed in your resignation to whom? To whom did you hand in your resignation?
The human resource manager.
Okay.
When you left the building on the 5th, what became of the other officer? who
He
was
left
there?
too.
He left the building with you?
Yes.
Now, you are currently working at GCOM, yes?
Yeah.
Well, how can you briefly explain how you started back working at GCOM?
All right. After the guy that was with me, the security officer that left with me, after he passed away on the 19th of May, I reapplied for the job,
And you got it?
and I was called and given the job with effect from the 1st of June.
2022?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. These are my questions for this witness.
Thank you very much, Mr. Stewart.
Thank you.
Might Mrs. Stewart be relieved? Please give him some assistance there before he comes out of that box, please. Thank you, sir. Commissioners, these are the witnesses we have available for today.